Hello and welcome to the next episode of my channel where I'll be taking up part 2 of the lesson We Are Not Afraid to Die If We Can Be Together. So in the first part we saw how they had made preparations for the sea journey for 16 years and then they had started the journey on a pleasant note, but after Christmas the weather started to degrade. The weather was not the same, it became bad, and how the narrator was thrown aboard into the water, and when he comes back into the onto the boat, he was tossed like a rag doll on the deck. Okay, so we are going to continue from there. Water everywhere. The narrator knew that the boat was flooding with water, but he dare not abandon the wheel to investigate. Suddenly his wife, Mary, came and informed him that the boat was sinking as the water was pouring in. He handed the wheel to her to go and check. Okay, and then he reached Larry and Herb, who were continuously pumping the water out like madmen. The whole starboard side had bulged inwards. Clothes, crockery, they were all moving about into the water. The boat had been badly damaged. So the narrator somehow managed to reach the children, and that's when he saw that his daughter Sue had a big bump on her head, to which he did not pay much attention because at that time survival was more important. Now somehow he managed to find canvas, hammer and screw, and just like a raincoat he spread the canvas over the holes in the boat so as to stop the influx of the water. Now another problem which popped in was that the hand pumps started jamming with the trash flooding around the cabin. They stopped working. Even the electric pump short-circuited. He found that their two spare hand pumps had been pulled away by currents along with the sail. Okay, along with the sail, the jib, the lifeboats, the main anchor, everything had been, washed away into the sea. So somehow he managed to find another electric pump to drain out the water. So obviously it was an endless night, continuous night of pumping out water out and everything, working on the radio with no success. There was no response even to their mayday calls. Now what do you mean by mayday calls? Just like you have SOS, mayday calls are calls for help when you are in the middle of the sea. So anybody who gets your frequency might come and help you, but there was no response to their mayday calls because they were in the middle of the sea somewhere. Now Sue's head had now swollen alarmingly, and only her two black eyes, which were visible. Okay, enormous big eyes were visible. And when the father asked her why didn't she tell him that the problem was so enormous, so she simply said that she didn't want to increase his worries because right now they were already in a lot of issues. So what has happened till now? A huge wave broke on the ship. Okay, there is water everywhere. They are trying to pump out the water, but the water is continuously influxing, and that's when he spreads the canvas, and then he finds another electric pump, and then he sees Sue, and in the meantime there is no response to their mayday calls. Now on the morning of January 3rd, the pumps had reduced the amount of water on board. They had survived for 15 hours since the wave hit the boat. But the boat was not strong enough to take them to Australia, which should have been their next stop. The narrator knew that the boat wouldn't hold together long enough, so he took out his charts and he started doing a bit of calculation to, in order to find out which other island they could land on. And that's when he saw two very, very small islands. Pinpricks means very small, the shape of a pin on the map. L'Amsterdam, a French scientific base. Okay, one of the two pinpricks in the vast ocean. That day, Mary found some corned beef and cracker biscuits, and they ate their first meal in almost 2 days. However, their relief was short-lived. The weather again started to deteriorate, and by the dawn on 5th January, their situation was again very, very bad. The narrator went to comfort the children, and he tried to assure them that they were going to make it. And that's when Jonathan, made a very, very brave comment. He said they were not afraid of dying if they can all be together. That's the moral of the story. Because we as a family are together, even in the times of trouble, we are not scared of dying. A boy of 6 years making such a remark was a great thing. This gave the narrator hope and a reason to fight the sea. He tried his best to protect the weakened starboard side of the boat. However, later in the evening, more water started to enter, and he felt defeated again. On 6th January, the weather improved. The narrator again tried to calculate their position. While he was at work, Sue came with a caricature. Okay, you know what's a caricature? It's a card where you draw funny figures of people, generally stick figures of people. And what did she write on that? The card said that she loved them both and hoped for the best. So all this optimism shown by his children, the encouragement shown by the children, the motivation coming from the children made him fight back again, made him filled with that zeal to fight back for these people. The narrator made several calculations using a spare compass, made some adjustments and asked Larry to steer a course of 185 degrees. He said that if they were lucky, they would see the island at about 5 p.m. But he was dejected. He himself was not very sure about it. So he went to the bunk and fell asleep. It was about 6 p.m. when he woke up. He thought that they must have missed the island because, there is no proper direction in the sea and only one small compass he has. He doesn't know whether it's working properly. Okay, because it has not been corrected for magnetic variation. And that's when John and Sue came to him and gave him a hug because he was the best daddy in the world. The narrator was confused. Sue announced that the island was just in front of him. And he went to the deck and he saw the most beautiful island. Why most beautiful island? Because it had saved their lives. So when his feet touched land the next day, he thought of the cheerfulness and optimism of all the people on the boat, which made them pass through the worst stress. Okay, so I hope you have understood. Do like the video.